I mean, you've talked about time and time again, it's just inside Michaela Blake's that you can't coach, but what have you seen, I guess, from a technicality standpoint, where she's developed or what area you think she's developed the most in that allowed her to have that 55-point game at Auburn?
I think that when she plays with a certain pace and a certain mentality and level of confidence, it's almost impossible to stop her. And that doesn't mean just scoring. She obviously can score the ball, but she's also a very good playmaker. She draws a lot of attention. And when she does so, she makes really good decisions. And then defensively, she's a terror wherever she is on the court, and she never gives up. So it starts and ends, I think, for Michaela with a mentality and a feeling of comfort and trust on the floor, both in herself and in her teammates and the coaches and in all the things that go into creating an opportunity for us to play our best basketball. And so I think sometimes what gets in her way is she wants to win so bad that, her hair gets on fire a little bit. And that's not abnormal for a player her age. You just don't see her do it a ton because she plays with such poise most of the time. And when she plays that way, it is really hard to stop her. And it's one of the many things that makes her different.
Might as well go ahead and get it out there just about how good she is. But I've heard a couple of people saying Caitlin Clark. Is she the next one? What's she got to do to get to? Is she even in that ballpark yet? Or, what do you rate her?
I don't love comparing kids to other players. I think Michaela Blake is going to be the first Michaela Blake, and Caitlin Clark was Caitlin Clark. I think there's a lot of differences in their game. Leaning more towards, I don't think that Michaela's a true point guard. I think she can play out the ball pretty well. And that, she's very, very highly interested in playing defense. Not that Caitlin Clark wasn't. Caitlin Clark defended as well. But Michaela will pick up 94 feet and press and trap. Their games are just so different. Also, the things that Michaela's doing right now, no one's ever done before. So I think that's the other thing.
And that dominance.
Yeah.
Leilani Kapanis has obviously made some really big plays at the end of that game to help you all win, but how much confidence does that give you as a coach that you can maybe play her in those late game situations?
Yeah, that's who she is. And when you talk to the kids, she just wants to win. She just wants to do whatever the team needs her to do to win. And, we have a lot of confidence in her defensively. She just never quits playing on that side of the ball. She can make 3 or 4 plays like she did with about a minute to go in the fourth quarter to get us tied up. So I have a ton of confidence in her. She just does that every day. She's a great communicator. She's a high energy player. You're going to get full effort from her, especially on the defensive end of the floor. And she's a big, strong guard. So when we're doing a bunch of the switching defenses that we have, she provides some level of physicality in the lane and rebounding in the lane that sometimes we don't have when we play certain lineups.
Talk about how she and Pierre, Michaela and Pierre, give y'all such a 1-2 punch going into the postseason.
Yeah.
And you got the SEC tournament less than 2 weeks behind deadline. So
Yeah. They've been doing really special things all year. So the interesting part of this year is this is where you have to lean on toughness and grit and preparation and belief and, all the things that you've been working on all year, because no one's a secret anymore. In February and March, everybody knows who you are. Everybody knows what you're going to do. And now it's just a matter of being able to make the plays from start to finish and, making sure that you fill whatever gaps you have so that you can be competitive to win basketball games. And so I think that's what's the beauty of those two. They're so different. Michaela's a ball-handling smaller guard. Camille can play all over the floor. And then we have some of the pieces that are really coming together so that we can be competitive with anyone in the country.
For a long postseason run?
That's the goal.
Yeah. Okay. Is the Oklahoma trip, is that kind of trap game with South Carolina coming in danger? Or I know you preach it.
Yeah.
Look too far ahead.
No, we don't. We don't look far ahead. I think we're just worried about tomorrow's practice, and then we worry about the next game. We know how important every game is for us right now.
Michaela kind of said on SportsCenter today that she thinks this is a team that can make a run in the SEC tournament, can make a run in March Madness. From a coaching standpoint, what do you think, in particular would allow your team to do that?
Just playing with a sense of urgency. I think that has to be a goal for us. I thought the way we played, the last 3 minutes of the game and the overtime game at Auburn, if we had played that way the whole game, I don't know that it would have looked the way it did towards the end of that game, but we didn't. And there are large stretches of games where we don't. And so that has to be something that we address and we fix if we indeed want to do the things that, that we had set for ourselves at the beginning of the year, which is to make a run for any championship that's out there to win. So that right now is the reality. We don't play with a sense of urgency all the time, and we have to make sure that gets fixed as we go into this part of the year.
Oklahoma, too, being a new SEC team, does that kind of bring in excitement, getting ready for just a new opponent you haven't faced yet in the conference?
Yeah, it's always fun to play really good basketball teams, and they're another really good basketball team in our conference. They play a different way. They'll play like most SEC games. They play very fast, but there's a lot of movement on the floor, so it's definitely a different challenge. I'm excited to go out there and play at their place and see, what are we really made of right now at this time in the year after a huge road win that we needed. What does this team going to look like on Thursday? How are we going to approach the game? I'm excited. I think we're ready.
Has anybody shut both of them down this season, hurting Pierre and Michaela in the same game? Or
no, not that I can. I mean, it's not. I mean, there's just two of them, so we'd have three other people on the floor. So it's just not. That's not really how we play. So we have other people that can contribute when one or both of them are having a moment where they may be struggling to make shots or do things where they feel like they need to produce in a certain way. That's the beauty of playing on a team.